Two more House Democrats announcing they will not run for re-election, bringing the total number to 28. So what does this mean for Republicans looking to take back control of the lower chamber? Fox News contributor and former Congressman Sean Duffy joins us live. Can't think of a better person to ask this question to than you, being a former congressman. You know, we do talk a lot about these retirements, Sean. How big of a deal is this, that this number keeps on ticking up? Now it's to 28.
Well, it's meaningful, Carly, but first let's take a step back. Why is it happening right now for Democrats? Why are they leaving? Well, a year ago, Democrat Party affiliation had a 9-point lead over Republicans. Today, Republicans have a 5-point lead over Democrats. That's a 14-point swing. So Democrats today look and say, this is going to be a bloodbath. A red tsunami is going to crash upon our shores, and I'm going to make a decision not to run. And there's two groups in these numbers. No, the first group is, Democrats who are in hard seats or moderate seats. They think they're going to lose. So they're going to make a career change right now before they actually lose that race. But the second group are Democrats from safe seats, and they realize they're going to be in the minority. And what's happened is Democrats have been so abusive to the minority, to Republicans over the last 4 years, have had no respect for them. I think these Democrats in safe seats understand that when they're in the minority, it's going to be absolutely horrible because Republicans are going to treat them the same way Democrats have been treating Republicans for the last 3 years. So again, they're like, I don't want to be in the minority. I'm going to leave and find another career path as well.
Yeah, there are some Republicans who have lost committee assignments, and now Republicans are saying if we take back the House, we're going to do that to Democrats as well. President Biden is going to have his first press conference in months today. After a lot of legislative failures, crime is still on the rise. Is there anything that he could do to spin what's going on in this country in his favor?
That's a great question. You can't spin this, Carly. This is, it's bad for people. You can't, tell people a story and make them believe it when their eyes tell them something else. What Joe Biden has to do is actually change course, right? You have to stop borrowing and spending. Stop with the big spending packages so we can hopefully reduce inflation. On the inflation front, encourage American energy expansion and growth so we can reduce prices. Energy touches all of us at the gas pump for heating our homes, but also it moves every single product and good across the country. If he did those two things, I think that would go a long way to making people feel better about the future and better policy coming from the White House. He has to do what Bill Clinton did. Once Bill Clinton lost in the midterm elections in his first term, he pivoted and worked with Newt Gingrich and Republicans, and they were very successful. And he won a second term. If Joe Biden stays on this radical course, he's going to continue to lose, and his party is going to get absolutely wiped out in the midterm elections in November.
Well, and Sean, one of the issues that's really hurting Democrats is education. And that letter that the National School Board Association sent to the Department of Justice and President Biden comparing parents to domestic terrorists. And now Senate Republicans have written a letter to Education Secretary Miguel Cardona saying that letter was the proximate cause of Attorney General Garland issuing a memorandum directing the FBI and the various U.S. attorneys to focus on harassment, intimidation, and threats of violence directed at school officials. That action has created a dramatic chilling effect on parents and is an inappropriate deployment of federal law enforcement. They want more answers on this front. Will they get them?
Oh, well, so first off, the Department of Justice needed a pretense to go after parents who were just protesting policies in schools they didn't like. They weren't violent. And so they used the Department of Education to solicit this letter from the School Board Association to start this whole, FBI process going after parents. So I think we're going to, listen, I think we're going to get some answers, but not until the Senate and the House change are we going to get real answers. When Republicans have gavels and can put real pressure on the administration.
And that brings us back to the first topic of conversation that we had, Sean, about the possibility of the House, Republicans regaining the House in the midterm election. Sean, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.